Good morning. Today is Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Tisha B'Av, this Saturday night and Sunday, has a special prayer, a special paragraph that is added to the Shemona Esrei, to the Amidah, just like every other special day. Yom Tov and Rosh Chodesh, we add a paragraph of Ya'aleh V'Yavo. On Chanukah and Purim, we add a paragraph Al Hanisim. And for Tisha B'Av, we add a paragraph that starts with the word Nacheim, and it's about the destruction of Jerusalem. It starts like this: Nacheim Hashem Elokeinu es aveli Tzion ves aveli Yerushalayim. God console the mourners of Zion and the mourners of Jerusalem. And it ends with the words, Baruch atah Hashem, blessed are you, God, Menachem Tzion uvonei Yerushalayim. You console Zion, the Jewish people, and you will rebuild Jerusalem. For today, let's ask two questions about this prayer. The earliest version of this prayer is in the Talmud. It's quoted in the Gemara. But there, the first word is Rachem. We have Nacheim. Now, obviously, the words are related, but that slight change from Rachem to Nacheim, what is the difference? And what's the implication of the change from one word to another? That's number one. Question number two. On all other special days where a special paragraph is added to the Amidah, it is added to the Shemona Esrei of all three prayers, Mariv, Shachris, and Mincha, the nighttime, the morning, and the afternoon. But Nacheim, on Tisha B'Av, is only added at Mincha, only the afternoon prayer. We do not say it Saturday night, we do not say it Sunday morning, only Sunday afternoon at Mincha. Why? Why is this the only one that we say once and that we only say it in the afternoon? Concerning the words Nacheim, Rachem, the word Rachem with a resh means the capacity of having mercy or compassion. Nacheim is related, but it's in the form of a directive, of a beseech. We are asking God, we're pleading for God. God, console us, comfort us. It's a directive. The word Nacheim is what we say to a mourner. So why is it only at Mincha? Rabbi Yitzchak ben Moshe of Vienna, who wrote a great work on Jewish law called the Ar Zarua, he writes that Tisha B'Av day, during the day of Tisha B'Av, it parallels the status of a person, God forbid, who has lost an immediate family relative who is an onain, the mourner before the funeral. And before the funeral, our sages tell us, Kamisha meso muta lefanav, when a person's deceased relative, family member, is lying before them, in that state, consolation and comfort is premature. It's not going to work. It won't be heard. Don't try to console someone before the funeral. But at Mincha in the afternoon, that is like after the funeral, during Shiva. And during Shiva, it is appropriate to offer consolation. For example, during Shiva, if we visit someone who, God forbid, is sitting Shiva, we say to the mourner, Hamacham Nacheim eschem. God should comfort you. We're asking God to comfort you. That same word, Nacheim, that's what we say when we're asking God to do this. And you see how similar that is, Hamakam Yenachem, what we say to a mourner in Shiva, to the words that we say on Tisha B'Av in the afternoon, Nacheim Hashem es Avele Tzion. We're saying to God, God, please, please, console us, the mourners of Zion. Now, this distinction between the morning and the afternoon of Tisha B'Av is based on a passage in the Talmud that we have discussed before. Talmud says as follows: in the precise chronology of events of the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, the Talmud says that the Beis HaMikdash, the actual building of the temple in Jerusalem, was set afire late in the afternoon of the 9th of Av. And the burning of it, the stones falling down, the destruction, was mainly on the 10th. Now, in the past, we have discussed, so why is the fast on the 9th and not on the 10th? If most of the destruction was on the 10th, it seems like that would be the worst day. So why is it that we fast on the 9th? One approach is as follows. There are a number of significant areas of practice where the laws of mourning become more lenient in the afternoon of Tisha B'Av. For example, in the morning of Tisha B'Av, a person is not supposed to do any activity that takes away from the activity, the preoccupation of mourning. But in the afternoon, a person could start to prepare the nighttime meal. You don't have to wait till the fast is over. In the afternoon, you could do that. For men, in the morning, we do not put on tefillin. Just like a person who is an oneng, God forbid. Before the funeral, a man whose immediate family member passed away does not put on tefillin. But we do put on tefillin at mincha, because that's like during Shiva. So it's lighter, and we put on tefillin at mincha. Another practice is in the morning. We have the practice to sit low to the ground, but not in the afternoon. Once the afternoon comes, we can sit in regular chairs. Why is it that the afternoon is more lenient than the morning? The Rabbi Yosef Soloveitchik used to raise this question and answer it on almost an annual basis because it is so important. He would start by quoting a verse in Tehillim. It's Tehillim 79. It starts, Mizmar la'asaf, a song of Asaph. And the subject of this psalm is the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, the destruction of the Holy Temple. And it talks about the nations have come into your inheritance and they destroyed it, and it's about the Churban. So our rabbis in the Medrash ask, Why is it introduced with the words Mizmar L'Asaf? A song, it denotes a joyous song. It should have started with the words Bechi Asaf, a weeping of Asaf, or Nehi Asaf, a lament of Asaf, or Kina Asaf, a dirge of Asaf. Why does it say Mizmar, which seems to indicate something joyous? So the Medrash gives the following parallel. The Medrash says, imagine a king who built a beautiful palace for his son. But then the son behaved inappropriately, and his father, the king, destroyed the palace he had built for him. At that point, the son's tutor began playing a musical instrument, a joyous tune. And people asked him, how can you be playing a joyous tune when the prince's palace was destroyed by the king? And the tutor said, I play a joyous tune because the king was upset with his son, and the king took it out on the palace, but did not do anything to his son. Yes, it was a punishment, but it was a punishment that was taken on the building, not on the person. Our rabbis say, similarly, the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. After all, it was the people who had sinned to bring about the destruction. The Beis HaMikdash didn't sin, the altar didn't sin, the utensils didn't sin, the stones of the building didn't sin. Why did the building deserve to be punished? But in the late afternoon of Tisha B'Av, it became clear that the building would be destroyed and the people would be spared. And at that moment, ironically, the people breathed a sigh of relief. And that's why we fast on the 9th, because of the uncertainty of what might have happened. But we don't fast on the 10th, because that already is a sign, ironically, that we, the Jewish people, at least will survive. And Rabbi Soloveitchik explained it as follows, in very dramatic terms. Rabbi Soloveitchik explained that during the entire day of Tisha B'Av, it was unclear what would be destroyed. Would it be the Jewish people, God forbid? Or would it be the Beit HaMikdash? And the people didn't know all day long. It was not clear. Until late in the afternoon, when the Beit HaMikdash started to burn, that's when the people realized that God had decided to vent his anger on the stones and not on them. Shafach HaKadosh Baruch Hu chamaso al ha'etzim ve'al ha'avonim. God vented his anger on the wood and the stones, v'lo shafach chamaso al Yisrael, and did not vent his anger on the people of Israel. And therefore, it's paradoxical, it's ironic that precisely in the afternoon, precisely at the moment that the Beis HaMikdash starts to burn, which is the moment of the greatest shock, how could it be that the house of God is being destroyed? Precisely at that moment, the intensity of the mourning decreases. And because it decreases, the prayer of Nacheim can be said. In the morning, it's too serious. We can't ask for mercy. We don't even know what's going to happen. Only in the afternoon, when it is clear that the Jewish people will be saved, and only, in quotation marks only, the Beis HaMikdash will be destroyed, then it's appropriate to ask God for mercy and compassion and comfort. And this explains a statement of the Ramah, Rabbi Moshe Isserles, which is included in Shulchan Aruch. The words on the face of them are very difficult to understand. The Ramah says, the widespread custom is that Nacheim is recited only in the Mincha prayer, as we said, that's our practice, because it was then that they set fire to the temple, and therefore we pray then for comfort. In other words, it was precisely the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash that was a source of comfort, ironically. Yes, of course it was terrible. Yes, of course. But it was precisely then that a whole range of more lenient practices in mourning can be introduced, including the recital of Nacheim. We can then ask for comfort and consolation, and that's why we do not fast on the 10th, because that most terrible period has already passed. And that's why the word is Nacheim, not Rachem. Because in the afternoon, we've reached the moment where we can say, okay, God, now we're ready to receive your condolence. And that's why it's only at Mincha, because only then was this made clear. Because the destruction that we mourn and lament is also, ironically, a consolation and a comfort that the Jewish people were saved. That's why our sages tell us that the seeds of redemption are sown on Tisha B'Av. Because the day of Tisha B'Av in the afternoon is the start of comfort, which, as we discussed yesterday, will lead to the full redemption. I've shared with you before, many times, famous words in the Talmud. The Talmud says, Kol ha-mis'abel al Yerushalayim, zoche v'roeh b'simchasa. Whoever mourns for Jerusalem will merit to see her rejoice. We usually read that as a promise. It's a promise. If you are one of those who mourns Jerusalem, the promise is you will see the rejoicing. You will see the rebuilding and the happiness. But according to this, those words are also a description. Because it is through the mourning, through the sadness of Tisha B'Av, from which the redemption will come. The fact that the destruction was only, in quotation marks, the Beis HaMikdash. That's the sign that the ultimate redemption will come. May it come soon for all of us. My friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.